All right, we go straight to business, and Sandra is here. Sandra, you take it over.
All right, thank you so much, Israel. Good evening, I'm Sandra and I'm here for business. The year-on-year inflation rate for the month of November has gone up to 8.2% from 7.7% in October. This increase is influenced by a marginal rise in prices of food and alcoholic beverages over the period. The current rate represents a difference of 0.5%. Here's government statistician Samuel Kobinainim.
It represents a difference of 0.5 percentage points between the October rate, which fell at 7.7%. According to government statistician Professor Samuel Kobinainim, the growth in inflation figures mean a marginal increase in general price of goods.
This literally can be interpreted as general price levels between November 2019 and November 2018 have gone up by 8.2%. Further to this, month-on-month inflation, that is monthly inflation, in which case we compare October 2019 and November 2019, shows that there's a difference of 0.7%. That is, general price levels have gone up by 0.7% between the month of October 2019 and November 2019. To put these figures in a context, we share with you the year-on-year inflation for October 2018 and October 2019. And for October 2018 and October 2019, as we presented last month, the year-on-year inflation was 7.7%. Relative to the year-on-year inflation for November 2018 and November 2019, there's a 0.5 difference.
He's also been explaining the main drivers for the trend.
5 divisions had rates either equal to the 8.2 or higher than 8.2. And when we are interpreting these divisions, we need to be mindful of the weights that are associated with these divisions. So although we see alcoholic beverages, tobacco, and narcotics recording 13.4%, which is about 5.2% higher than the national average, its impact on the 8.2% should take cognizance of the weight associated with this. So the 5 items that had rates above or equal to the national average are alcoholic beverages, tobacco, and narcotics, transport, housing, water, electricity, and gas, food and non-alcoholic beverages, and personal care and miscellaneous goods.
Meanwhile, the Ghana Statistical Service is calling for cooperation in its upcoming 2020 census.
Economist Courage Mate has been speaking to Joy Business on the implications of the current inflation rate on the economy. Speaking to Darokwa earlier on Business Live, he partly blamed the hike on the cedi's depreciation.
I mean, essentially, we are feeling the pinch of the tax measures that were announced in the mid-year budget because it took some time to get going. Then also, the utility tariff hike for Q4 is also having a pinch or a more pressing impact now. And then the cedi also has suffered its own issues. And we also see that even after the November CPI data, the cedi even has suffered more losses. And all this just means that Q4 2019 is a period of high price pressures. And this is how, what it means. Basically, cost of funds, cost of capital is expected to remain high. And again, that is why it will be difficult to also see a situation where lenders like banks and investors that would bid for government of Ghana papers would be reluctant to reduce the interest rate they would want on it because of the risk that this high inflation poses to their investment. With the current situation, it's more of course, the seasonality, but then you also see a bit of government high external obligation playing a role in that, and investors also not willing to reinvest the coupons they earn. The problem now is that once a certain sentiment has set into the foreign exchange market, it becomes difficult to quell it quickly unless there is a significant intervention from the central bank.
This is the highest inflation rate in 4 months. So what would be the impact on the economy? George Riafe has some answers in the following report.
A careful look at the numbers over the past 1 month also indicated that inflation has gone up. From the data, import inflation also contributed significantly to the new rate levels of 8.2%. This should mean that the rise in cost of some imported items or goods indeed affected the measurement of the general price levels locally. Inflation is often seen as a measurement of an activity that has already taken place. Therefore, looking at the past events like the city's sharp depreciation and hikes in fuel prices, as well as other commodities, there's a likelihood that inflation could be going up again in the coming months. This could impact negatively on the cost of credit going forward, as most banks and lenders try to ensure that the high rate doesn't eat up their capital. This could also discourage businesses from investing in some sectors of the economy, as most of these investors try to ensure that their investments are not wiped off by this development.
Some aggrieved customers of collapsed savings and loans companies have expressed disappointment at how government has treated them with regards to payment of their locked-up funds. They want government to form a consolidated savings and loans company to address their grievances, as has been done with the universal banks and investment companies. Prince Apia has this report from Kumasi in the Shati region.
We are made up of the depositors of the 23 savings and loans and finance houses whose licenses were revoked by the Bank of Ghana on the 16th of August this year. In fact, we've been through a lot for the past over 1.5 years. And since the government came to take over, we thought everything was going to be in a hurry or it's going to be expedited. Until quite recently, that we started after the submission of the POD forms, we heard that the government was only going to pay a capped amount of 10,000 cedis to us, no matter the quantum of money you have been locked up there. So we started some kind of agitation. During that time, we hadn't been able to form such a united front. So we were going from radio station to radio station and sometimes information center to information center, to the extent that we even appealed to the government to try and do something about that capped amount, and also make sure that that deadline that was put on the submission of the POD be revoked. God being so good, that call was heeded to, and that deadline has been revoked. So now there's no deadline attached. But the cap amount has now been increased from 10,000 to 20,000. It's not enough, because I know of some customers whose funds are over 1 million Ghana cedis, some are over even 5 million Ghana cedis.
The Bank of Ghana has rejected claims it is working to determine salaries of compensations and compensation packages for bank executives in the country. According to the bank, it has rather begun an engagement with the board and senior executives of the bank to ensure that customers are not made to bear the risk of incurring the cost of banks' poor performance. We'll bring you that story later, but I want to take a look at some local stories making headlines in summaries.
Springfield Exploration and Production SCP Limited and its partners Ghana National Petroleum Corporation GNPC and GNPC Exploco have officially announced significant oil discovery following its maiden Afina 1 well drilling campaign in the West Cape 3 Points Block 2 offshore Ghana. According to a statement by the indigenous company, Afina 1, which is located at a water depth of 1,030 meters, was drilled to a total depth of 4,085 meters and encountered light oil with a gross thickness of 65 meters with 50 meters light net oil pay in good quality Cenomanian sandstones.
That's all for business for now. I am Sandra Esenamap, and I'm back after 8 p.m. with more business. You do stay tuned.